My motion graphics.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another My Motion Graphics tutorial. My name is Gustavo Maia, and today's video actually is not going to be exactly a tutorial. I'm actually going to talk about a new plugin that just came out, and I thought that you would appreciate to know about it because it's, in my opinion, a really cool plugin. It's called the NOTA Effector. And let me just click play over here so that you can see what it can do. But you know, this video alone, it looks really cool, but don't be mistaken by it. It can do a lot more. So let's take a look at this once again. Then we're going to jump into Cinema 4D just to take a brief overview of what it does. Okay, so here we are in Cinema 4D. I'm using R16. And let's start doing something. So the NOTA Effector, and I'm still studying it, I'm still learning how to play with it because it's such a powerful tool, such an awesome plugin that, you know, it takes a little bit to master it. Not that it's complicated or difficult, because it's not, but it has so many, it gives you so many possibilities that it makes it so awesome. And so to get to really master it, you really need to dig a little bit into it. So you have a lot of functions, a lot of options, a lot of cool things to do. And the plugin is actually an effector. It works like an effector. So you can combine it with other effectors inside the Mograph module. And it's awesome. So it takes a little bit to figure out what you can do with it. It really depends on your creativity, because as I said before, it's an effector, so the possibilities are endless. But in any case, let's jump into it. So I have a cloner with a cube inside, and this is just a linear quick example of what it does. By far is going to be you're going to get the full impression of what it does, but I promise that I'm going to make some tutorials, some specific tutorials on how to work with it on specific subjects. So, okay, so we have a cube over here, we have a cloner with a bunch of cubes, and now with the cloner selected as any Mograph module, or as any, as with any effector, we're not going to go into here. We're going into plugins and find our NOTA Effector that I have already installed right here. And what happens is that the cloner, it looks like it disappears, right? So we have only one cube in the middle of our scene. But watch this. Let's increase our frame range over here. So maybe to 500, I don't know. It will be more than enough. But once I press play, look what happens. So what happens is that all the cubes were in the same spot, and then, as you can see, the cubes start to move into their respective positions. Now this is really cool, but it's far from what it actually can do, because as you can see, the NOTA Effector over here on our right has several tabs, and each of them kind of makes sense once you get to know the plugin. But let's focus. Let's just focus on the Effector tab. I'm very nervous today because I'm really excited with this. So let's say that let's take a quick look at over here. So let's say I want to lock the X position. So if I click over here, let's press play once again. As you can see, what happens now is that no movement or nothing is affected in the X position. And I can do it again, but with the Y and the X selected. And as you can see, this kind of makes a totally different result, and it looks pretty awesome. But in any case, let's keep going. As you might see, the cubes are growing or kind of being built from the center. In this case, this XY axis, right? So they're kind of moving from there. But let's say I want the cubes to go or to start from somewhere else and not in the middle. So with the NOTA Effector selected, I can add a null object. And let's show this again. This is called a start reference, and you can click this to create a start NOTA Effector automatically that will be created inside the plugin, in the Objects tab inside the hierarchy. So it will make it a child of the NOTA Effector, and then we can click and drag and make it so we can actually move the start to somewhere else. And this is looking good, looking interesting, but think about what you can do with this. It's huge, okay? So there you go. So you have the duration and the step and the offset, and these values are really, really important. And I wish I could explain it more, but from what I get is that the duration is the number of frames that each cube needs to get to its place. So on our 27th frame, as you can see here, this first cube is already there, right? It doesn't move anymore, so it took 27 frames to get there. And the step is kind of awkward, but the longer the step, I think it kind of creates some breaks between things. So let me just push this even higher so I see if I can see any difference. Yeah, I think it kind of creates a step between the cubes being split off, right? So it creates a gap between the cubes or the clones being split off. I think, or I hope this is correct. In any case, what's really interesting here, or what we need to understand, is that with these controls we can actually manipulate the timing of our effect. Now we have some cool stuff. Let me just bring this down a bit, and maybe this as well, so that we can... Oh, there's a negative value, by the way. Negative value, which is awesome. Can bring the cubes into the spot, so that's really useful. Yeah, so let's bring this down once again, yeah, like so maybe, and bring the duration down. Maybe that's too fast. Okay, so there's a loop, and the loop kind of creates this awkward effect. I was hoping, or I thought that the loop would kind of, create the motion over and over again, but it just doesn't. It creates this, I think it loops a number of frames. Not really sure what frames it loops, but in any case, let's check the ping pong. And the ping pong, it's more obvious. So let me just bring this over here, and maybe like so. I think we need more frames, so let's just increase our frame range and bring the step down so that it gets faster. Okay, a little bit more, and then it goes back again. And this is more obvious. I mean, it's just a ping pong. So once it's done, it goes back again. And you have this frame pause that I assume that if you increase this value, eventually it will stop and then go back once again. So it creates a gap between the building in and building out. I hope that makes sense for you. It does for me. But let's go and keep going on. What do we have more? As I said, this is an awesome plugin, and from what I've shown you already, it really looks good, and we have so much more. So a line of sets, something really cool is the spline. The spline is really cool. So I think I have a project over here already created. So this is basically the same thing that I've shown you before. So we have the cubes going into the cloner, the cloner shape, but now we have a spline that we've created, and we can actually manage to, let me just mute my cell phone. So we can actually manage to make the cubes follow a spline, and as you can see, from around here, the cubes will release the spline or get rid of that follow spline and go into their positions over here somewhere. And that's we can manipulate this with the spline constraint. As you can see here, the farther or the closer I get, I bring this dot into here. It means that, let's put it in the middle like so, around the middle of our spline. Yes, so at around the middle point of our spline, the cubes or the clones will eventually go into their place and kind of forget about the spline, or disrespect the spline. Never do it. Never disrespect the spline. I don't know why I just said this. Anyway, another thing, as I mentioned before, this is really cool because you can merge or can stack effectors. And let's take a look at this cloner and take a look at its effector. So we have the NOTA Effector and we have the Delay Effector that's right here already created, although it's shut off, so it's disabled. But take a look at this. If I enable the Delay Effector, let's take a look at once again. If I enable the Delay Effector, look at it. The cubes kind of, it's a Delay Effector, and I hope you know already. We've mentioned and we've talked about that several times before. Yeah, but it really works. So you can stack and stack and stack effectors on top of each other, and that's basically the Mograph module. And what the NOTA Effector is, it's simply another effector that you can play with, and it's a really cool one of my favorites right now. Let me show you some other thing that I think it's really important. And again, we're just scratching the surface of this plugin. So as you can see, we now over here, this is our first example. So we now have control of where the cubes come from, but we don't have control of where the cubes go to. I mean, they go to the cloner. Yes, that's right. But I can't say, or I didn't tell it where the transformation, where the cubes should hit first. But I can come over here under NOTA Effector and look for sorts. Yeah, that's right, sorts. And we have this reference for sorting, and it works the same way as the other one did. So the other one was under Effector, the start reference, and I honestly not sure, but I think I didn't mention that you can bring whatever object you want over here, or you can create a null object. So it will create an object for you, and all you need is actually a null object. So for example, now we have this sort NOTA Effector created right inside the NOTA Effector, and we can bring it over here. And if we press play, I think you'll understand a bit more of what we're dealing with. So let's bring this back, and let's maybe increase a bit the number of clones so that we can have a bit more resolution and try to understand better what's happening. Okay, so once again from the top. So now that I have the sorts over here, as you can see, the cube starts going to the I mean, the closer as they can to the sorts, and they're kind of being constructed from there. So really awesome, and you can animate this as well, so it really looks cool. What more? Again, if you add to your cloner, if you add right now, let's say another delay, and with the delay selected, go into parameter or effector, I mean, change the mode to spring and increase a bit the strength. And as you can see, the cubes kind of have this bouncing thing, which is really cool. And this is Mograph, so it really expands your Mograph module. So really cool. Let me show you some more examples of what we have here. Maybe this Mograph Colors. Yeah, this is one example that it really shines, because as you can see, you can actually change the color and basically textures and color information with this plugin. So what's actually doing, let me show you. We have this material over here, and this material has these images that you can find available in the content browser under the sculpting something. I'm not actually sure right now, but in any case, and we have a fusion, and we have one map on our base channel, another map on our blend channel, and we have a mask channel. And under the mask channel we have a color shader, and we're using a mask. So besides that, we also did come into the NOTA Effector, Mograph Colors, and use the Mograph Colors. So what it's doing is creating a mask from black to white, and where the transformation goes on, you know, it just makes that awesomeness of awesomeness. And this is really simple, simple demonstration. If you go into the website that I just shown you, and I'll leave the link in the description so that you don't miss a thing, you'll find a bunch of videos showing off what it does. But in any case, I'm going to show you some more because I really enjoy this plugin, I must tell you. Yeah, let's play with dynamics and an attractor. So here we have some dynamics, an attractor, and the NOTA Effector, and we have this thing. I mean, it's not something so interesting, but you can do a lot with it. I think there's a kind of an example of this with a better looking result, rendered textures and materials, lights and all that stuff, and it really looks really good. Some other stuff, Oscillator. This is one thing that I really enjoy, the Oscillator, and as you can see, this is a little bit more complex scene. I've been playing around here with a lot of mess, and we have a complex cloner over here with a bunch of objects. And for this demonstration, I'm going to bring down a bit the count, so maybe reduce a bit the objects, and I'm going to press play so that you can see what's happening, and voila, this is beautiful. I love it. I really enjoy this. So what's happening right here is, let me show you. I guess we have a plane effector just to cut those corners off. Yeah, the plane actually making with the fall off, making the corners kind of disappear, so that this object's kind of shrinking in until they disappear. But even so, like this, looks really interesting. But let's take a look at what we have here. We have where is it? The oscillator. We're playing with the oscillator. So if I set this to 0, eventually, not this one, yeah, ignore that one. If I set this to 0, this is the rotation, and this is the position. Yeah, okay. All right, we've come back to the top. Okay, so now things are growing, as you can see, from the center to the out boundaries, out parts. How do you say this? I think you understand what I mean. Okay, so I don't want to be too much confusing, but as I said before, this is not exactly a tutorial. This is just a little bit of show off of what this puppy can do. And for that, I'm not going to be really concerned on explaining details, because if I did, we would spend here a bunch of hours, because there's a lot into this. But let me show you the oscillator. So the oscillator kind of make things move, you know, just moving, following these waves, so the X, Y, and Z waves, and this period multiplier, which is basically the speed. So if we set, if we make them move in the Y position, maybe like, I don't know, maybe 20, and press play, look at it. Now it's following this kind of waves, and it's actually ignoring the X, Y, and Z. I mean the X and Z. It's only following the Y. So this is the movement that it's doing, and it looks really good, cool. And we can increase this a bit, so it kind of makes it faster, or decrease to make it slower. Maybe increase the height. Look at it. I mean, I'm just playing around. I'm honestly not sure what I want to do right now, because all I want to do is, you know, have some fun and show you There's music with that. All I wanna do is yeah, terrible. Okay, so we can play with the position, but not only the Y position, we can play with some other positions and get some wacky results. Like so, this is terrible. And if you manipulate these waves, you'll get some random, you know, completely different results. Let's leave this like that and play with the rotation. I'm actually going to bring everything down and just play with the rotation, like so, and see what we get. Maybe increase a bit the rotation, a bit more, and a bit more, and a bit more. And voila, you have some, maybe increase the period multiplier to make it faster. I think if you, yeah, that's right. Look at it. Awesome. And I don't, you know, I can't get, I can't say this enough. If you add some more effectors, you know, it's awesome. Like this Spline Effector, for example, you know, you get this rounded shape, looks really, really cool. Or you can add this delay. And with the rotation, I'm not really sure if that works that well, but maybe that's too much. Let's try this 5 and decrease a little bit the period over here, the multiplier, and things are bouncing around, you know, have this kind of organic movement. And think of what you can do with this. I mean, this is awesome. More that we can talk about right now. Maybe let me show you this example over here. This is just what we have here. Let me just shut this off. Is this how does this called? How is this called? Puppet, not puppet, but the space figure. Yeah, that's right. So what we have is the figure, and we have the poly effects under the figure. So and the figure is already turned into editable polygons. Although I honestly don't think you need to do that, but in any case. So here's the figure, and we have the poly effects, and because the poly effects has the slot for the effectors, you can bring in the NOTA Effector. And once you press play, I think I've been messing around a little bit with this, but just a bit, not that much. And if you press play, stuff will start growing from, you know, the NOTA Effector starts to do its thing. So let's just bring this down, make it a little bit faster so we can see it better. And it looks really, really crappy right now, but we can do so much with it. Like, for example, we can add a null object or a start null object, and we can bring, I don't know, maybe the cloners start from here, and maybe bring the duration down and the step down. As you can see, maybe that's a lot. And let's increase this to maybe 5,000. Bring this over here. Okay, beautiful. And we can maybe play with the sort, so create a sort, a reference for sorting. Let's click over here, and we're going to start building it from the chest. As you can see, things are taking shape from the chest to outwards, and some other stuff. And yeah, you can, as I said before, lock the positions, lock rotations. You can add some randomness if you want to, maybe some, let's try this. Let's try this. That's awkward, so let's bring that to 0 and maybe increase that to maybe 200. And I'm just playing around, right? I'm just really playing around. Let's go to the start and bring this over here. And pretty awesome. And what more? So this is probably not the best example because we have such you know, really, really small polygons and huge polygons on the arms, and with a more, you know, natural mesh or uniform mesh, we would maybe see that a little bit better. But this will do the trick. And look at what happens once I add, let me bring this over here, once I add the Delay Effector. So maybe it's too strong or the animation is too quick. So let's bring this a little bit like so. So things are kind of, you know, bouncing and taking its place. There's a lot of polygons going on over here. Let's just bring the duration a little bit up. like so it doesn't get that fast. Okay, so we now have this bouncing around, and the delay effector with the NOTA effector, it's beautiful, but you know, you can do so much with it. Let me see some more examples. Yeah, no more examples for now, but I do want to show you some quick renders that I've done just playing with the NOTA effector. Yeah, and this is just playing with the oscillator. So once again, another thing that's worth mentioning is that you can find it right here, renatotarabella.com. I'll leave the link in the description just in case, so you can just click and go there, because it's 2014. We have the internet and we have links. The price, so I'm probably thinking that you're asking about the price, and I believe it costs 60 euros, and this is the releasing, so it's like the price that it is released. I think it might increase a bit later on, so it's kind of a sale product right now because it has just been released. I'm not exactly sure about that, but I think I saw that somewhere around here. Plugins, maybe there, I'm not sure. Yeah, sale, 60 euros. And if you're thinking about how much that is in dollars, that's around 75 bucks. Really worth it for me, in my opinion. I think I mean, if you work with this, if you're going to use it, I think it's worth it. And that's it. I recommend that you should go over here, and I'll leave this link in the description as well, so that you don't miss anything. You have a lot of examples from people that have been playing with this, and let me just show you one or two. Yeah, I think this has sound or not sure. And playing with dynamics and the NOTA effect. This one has sounds. I'm not sure if the sound is being recorded into the computer, but in any case, what really matters is this flying thing going around. And there's more videos, I think. Where were they? More videos. Yeah, you have video examples of views, and you have a bunch of stuff over here, really huge. I recommend you to come here and take a look at it. And as I said before, I'm gonna make some more plugins, some more tutorials about this, but I just didn't want to lose the opportunity to talk a little bit about this and to tell you about this wonderful plugin, because it's really cool, and I mean, it's awesome. So I guess that's it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, share it, subscribe if you haven't already, keep those comments flowing and all that good stuff. My name is Gustavo Maia for mymotiongraphics.tv. I'll see you in another video. Until then, bye bye.